Hello, my name is Amanda Stubbs. This is my presentation for Assessment 5 in Nursing FPX 4900 Capstone. I will discuss a diabetic patient intervention that utilizes evidence-based treatment. Our intervention was created with a fundamental focus on illness process education. Understanding the illness, its management, its long-term effects on comorbidities. The patient will be able to effectively manage the adverse effects of this condition by implementing the measures. As you may recall, our patient is a 45-year-old sedentary man named Carmen Jackson. He was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes about 4 years ago, and his fasting glucose levels ranged from 115 to 133, which were reported to him initially as pre-diabetes. He recalled past episodes of nocturia associated with eating late at night prior to his bedtime. At the time of his original diagnosis, he was recommended just to lose weight, but no additional action was taken. Mr. Jackson was referred to the diabetic clinic by his primary care physician due to his inability to lose weight or weight gain and his inadequate diabetic management. He has unsuccessfully attempted to lose weight for the past 6 months. Every morning he took Liberide 2.5 milligrams, but he stopped taking it because towards the end of the day, he noted to have some agitation and lightheadedness. So he just quit taking it altogether. He also takes 10 milligrams of Lipitor every day for high cholesterol. He has no ill side effects from that medication, so he is compliant. 6 months ago, he was utilizing some pancreatic elixir, which was a combination of different drugs to control his diabetes. However, when he noticed 6 months of taking it with no change, he elected to quit taking that as well. At home, he does not monitor his blood glucose levels. He expresses skepticism over the numbers, basically asking, why would understanding the numbers be beneficial to me, or what would knowing the numbers do for me? Carmen believes he doesn't even know why he's diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, even though he doesn't really consume a diet high in sugar, according to him. Yet his diet is high in carbohydrates. And he particularly adores Italian food, which consists of 90% of what he consumes on a daily basis. He does have a family history of diabetes. Both of his parents were diagnosed with type 2, but still doesn't really have a lot of knowledge about this disease condition. So he did increase his physical activity on his own by playing basketball once a week and joining a bowling league. But he has not been able to drop more than 2 to 3 pounds. He has never met with a dietitian and is unable to monitor his own blood sugar levels at home. So going back to his diet, his daily diet consisted of 2 cups of pasta with homemade tomato sauce, and usually a cream-based tomato sauce, with 3 to 4 slices of Italian bread as a regular meal. Throughout the day, he typically has 1 to 2 slices of bread with butter and olive oil, and he additionally consumes 8 to 10 pieces of fresh fruit daily, either with his meals or just as a snack. He does prefer chicken and fish over other proteins, but very commonly cooked with the pasta and the cream sauce. His hemoglobin A1C has never been below 8%, and his blood pressure is constantly above 150 systolic. While conducting an interview and educating Carmen, on diabetes and the need for self-management at home, I realized that my care plan must be modified to accommodate his motivation. Using the fact that he is compliant with Lipitor because there's no side effects, and not the other medicine because there are side effects, there's that little bit of a leeway that I have that I can kind of build off of that motivation to where if he notices that it's beneficial for him, then he would be more invested. Before we could implement our method, we needed to know the rationale. I went for simplicity. This is a reoccurring theme in nursing. When offering a patient a solution, you must know your audience. You must be able to appeal to your audience to get buy-in. Nurses must be aware of the degrees of motivation and education. Patients will not listen if they are not motivated to do so. On February 5th, we met for nearly 3 hours at his home. We needed to discuss his existing approach to self-management and educate him on the proposed plan. I designed the pamphlet, printed it out, handed it to him. It's tailored to him. And we reviewed it page by page and understanding why each page was so important. We addressed the significance of his at-home goals to ensure he felt heard and that he had some buy-in on the implementation. We discussed maintaining a healthy weight, increasing his physical activity, the importance of glucose monitoring, medication adherence, and bad day coping strategies. We scheduled a visit with a dietitian to ensure he understood what a balanced diet was. This referral was provided by his primary care physician's office. And during this session, she instructed him on how to read nutritional labels and measure his portions, as well as the importance of keeping a food log and following an ADA-approved meal plans. Additionally, she actually gave him a plate that had different portions cut out to where he could have his non-starchy vegetables, proteins, and carbohydrates. She encouraged him to drink water or zero-calorie beverages. In addition to joining a basketball team and bowling leagues, we discussed the importance of being physically fit and establishing a routine. I explained to him that a regular physical fitness increases insulin sensitivity, decreases the blood glucose, blood pressure, and cholesterol levels. It manages his weight and reduces the likelihood of developing diabetic comorbidities. We recommended him to begin slowly in order to improve his stamina and utilize one of the several workout apps that's available from the App Store or Google Play. I further suggested that if he engages regular physical activity, he may be able to come completely off his high cholesterol or blood pressure medicine, but numbers would tell after time and his motivation. As previously indicated, he did not comprehend the relevance of being mindful of his glucose readings. We checked his glucometer at home and discussed how crucial it was for him to identify his goals. He was extremely fortunate to be gifted a Freestyle Libre 3, which is one of the trendiest glucometers. It employs the modern technology and eliminates the need for daily sugar checks, which will help us with his compliance and knowing his numbers. In addition to the device that he'll be using to monitor his glucose readings, we also discuss drug compliance. We created a wallet-sized medication list that he's able to keep in his wallet and have on him at all times. And we enrolled all of his prescriptions in an autofill program at his local pharmacy. I informed him that he's going to encounter difficult days. Just like every other patient, every other person, regardless of their medical condition. I wanted to be inclusive of a holistic approach because this is, again, self-management. We discussed coping techniques for success, emotional awareness, communicating with his healthcare providers, scheduling telemedicine appointments to make it convenient for him, communicating with his family, and establishing a supportive environment. And, of course, exercising. This handout also included information for his care team, which includes his primary care physician, his endocrinologist, dietitian, the diabetes nurse navigator, caseworker, pharmacy, and then the troubleshooting line for Abbott, who supplied him with his glucometer. It also included local ADA support groups, which are hosted locally here by the American Legion and offered twice weekly. And I strongly encouraged him to at least check one meeting out. He was ecstatic to find the phone number in his handout and was eager to begin immediately. We counseled him to just keep things simple, and with simplicity leads to compliance. He was very receptive to the colorful brochure tailored to him, having all of his information on it. He was, sorry. We counseled him, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Okay. His hemoglobin A1C and weight will be reevaluated every 3 months as a part of a follow-up plan. Yes, I'll be done with this course by then, but I am eager to see how this implementation impacts somebody to be better at managing it, taking ownership of their condition. He's quite motivated now, and just a simple assignment in this capstone created that motivation, so I'm pretty excited about it. I advocate evidence-based management to reduce the risk of hyperglycemia by utilizing technology, informatics, and referencing American Diabetes Association and their new nutrition recommendation. To successfully target my audience, I reviewed all the cited references from publications that I discovered during my research for this course in preparation for my meeting with Carmen. Using materials accessible to anyone with internet access and keeping things simple proved to be beneficial. I ensure that my references were peer-reviewed and published within the past 5 years. Several governmental rules provide standards for self-management. Examining the Affordable Care Act influences the presentation of an appropriate care management approach. In the case of Medicare and Medicaid, policies can affect the amounts of reimbursement for patient management, which leads to obstacles. I was able to successfully complete my assignment by adhering to the regulations and protocols, and to support a more therapeutic process, I studied the moral principles and ethics standpoint as a nurse. After completing this capstone, I realized that I made personal growth from my practice as an RN to a prospective BSN. I developed a deeper understanding of the importance of evidence-based practice, relevant research, and verifying the dependability or credibility of my sources. My future development and implementation of treatment programs will be influenced by the knowledge that I learned from this program. I will continue to apply the nursing ethics and recognize the need of effective communication in personal and professional life. As a nurse who gives chemotherapy infusions, I was actually able to adapt what I've learned into practice in real time, which was kind of cool. It's also preparing me to teach and mentor the next generation of nursing professionals by encouraging them to ask questions, to find the answers, to be able to appropriately answer their questions by knowing now how to dig deep and find those credible resources and practicing solely by evidence-based practice. Again, Dr. Hogg, thank you for your time. You have been an amazing instructor with your feedback, and I really appreciate you.